Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. Just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. College football week 1 continues. Last college football show we went through Thursday, Friday. Now we're going to hit Saturday, Sunday, Monday for this Labor Day weekend. If you're checking out our show for the first time, just to let you know, all of our shows here on YouTube presented to you by the #1 world sports betting app, Outlier. 7-day free trial is available from us in our YouTube channel links or on our YouTube channel page or comment section of every episode here on YouTube. Outlier does a lot of different things for you if you're not aware. Great bet ideas, where the money's coming into the sports books, trends that are going on, odd shop for the best odds. Not only that, you can hold multiple bets from multiple books in one spot. Outlier, the #1 world sports betting app. Like I said, 7-day free trial for all of you out there. Check it out for 7 days. If you don't like it, don't continue with it. I haven't had anybody yet go, I don't like it. So we use it quite a bit, for especially WNBA. It's been a big assist for us this year. Discord's done well. We've done well in WNBA. We use it for some players when we're looking for a lot of unders in baseball as well. We look for it, use it there. Football, NFL, it'll be a little bit more prevalent for us with a lot of player props. It's a fantastic tool, folks. Like I said, 7-day free trial. What's the worst? Cost you nothing. If you don't like it, then move on with life. Also, private Discord channel available for all of you out there. That is $50 per month. You're going to get all the sports that we do. So you're going to get baseball, you're going to get college football, NFL football, college basketball, NBA basketball, WNBA, Formula One, NBA, Formula One. We don't put out for public consumption. Golf, we don't do every week. We do a lot. UFC, none of those we put out for public consumption. Those 3, so you're going to get all those bonus. Plus, you're going to get all these bets extremely early. In fact, Discord's been sitting on a lot of these college football week 1 bets for a couple weeks, especially our biggest bet of the year so far, which will be coming up in college football. We're going to get started. We're going to roll through the games. We'll let you know ones we're personally involved in and try to give you some slants or sides or leans on the other games as well. But let's get started with Saturday. If we miss a game because it's not on the board, it's okay. There's plenty of games to choose from. Noon Eastern time, the game of the week, one of the 2 games of the weekend. In fact, my favorite game of the weekend. And this is our biggest bet of the year is in this game as well. Ohio State, Texas. This line's come down from where it was a couple weeks ago, came down from where it was yesterday. The totals also came down. That one I can't kind of figure out. Texas, Ohio State should be a banger. We start off the day with it. We've got a lot of noon window games, Eastern time frame we like. This one we like better than the rest of the board combined. Arch Manning, Texas. Realistically, it's like his second start. Julian Sayin, who I'll be really honest with you, I think is going to be really awesome to watch. I think he's going to be a fantastic quarterback for Ohio State. I think he's going to get better at the back end of this year than the first half. He did get a little mop-up duty last year. Here's the situation. So advantage quarterback, slightly to Texas. Advantage running backs, slightly to Texas. Advantage wide receivers, definitely Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith. Advantage offensive line, I think we still lean Texas. The defense is the difference here. The defense for Texas, returning a bunch of everybody. They're especially stout in the front 7. Back 4, a little bit not. Ohio State returning the back 4, and maybe one of the best players in college football in Caleb Downs. Front 7's brand new. The bigger deal, I think, that's kind of hasn't been talked about a bunch, Knowles being gone from that Ohio State defense, being the defensive coordinator, how they looked so awesome last year. That I personally believe it led him to the national championship because the offense could sputter at times, and you knew that defense was going to go out there and hold solid. This game was 3.5. This line was 51.5 for the total. This line's come all the way down. We told you this game was probably going to be a pick-em a couple weeks ago by the time it kicks off. It still might get there. Ohio State favored by a half right now. 47.5 is the total. Our biggest bets of the weekend are on this one here. Texas plus a half first quarter. Texas plus a half first half. Texas plus 3 for the game. Texas OSU We weren't going to play a total until it got down to a point where we couldn't hold off any longer. Texas, Ohio State over 9.5 the first quarter, 22.5 the first half, 47.5 in the game, 6 bets in that one, all over a lot of scoring. I think Texas has a great chance to put up 35 here. We kind of thought 35-21, maybe 35-20. Texas getting the win here. I know it's a road game. It is not an easy place to play in the shoe. I expect this to be a burner. 7-7 first quarter, 14-14 half. I think Texas kind of takes it over in the back end of this game. Jeremiah Smith is the one factor you really can't figure. He is Terrell Owens and basically a 19-year-old's body. The dude is absolutely ridiculous. Here's the thing with Jeremiah Smith. Make everybody else on the field beat you but that young man. He should see bracket coverage the entire game. You cannot single him up. I can't tell you how many times we saw that last year where Oregon tried to single him up and got burned, or whoever it was tried to play single coverage. You can't. There's not a college corner that can, period, right? He's got to see 2 guys on him constantly. If that takes place, which I'm assuming it will be with Texas here, they go get a hard-fought road win on their way to some craziness. I think this is like I said, a banger to start off the year. I can't believe we get to see this week 1. Thank God for the college football playoff, because if it wasn't there, we wouldn't see games like this if it was still the old BCS format. All right, let's get to the next game because there are other games. Noon Eastern time, Tennessee and Syracuse. We love this one as well. Not as much, obviously, as the Texas game, but Tennessee, new quarterback, still a great defense, and they're going against a team in Syracuse, lost Kyle McCord. I understand this game on the road for Tennessee here, total at 50.5. We love the Volunteers here. We don't expect hardly anything out of Syracuse this season. Tennessee minus 3.5 first quarter, 7.5 the first half, 7 and 13.5 for the game. Next game up, also noon Eastern time, Ball State, Purdue. Right now, Purdue favored by 17.5. Now, we've seen Purdue for the last few years. Should they be favored by 17.5 against the Sisters of the Poor or the Blind? No. This is dog time for us in that early time frame window. We like Ball State here. I don't know if they're going to score a bunch of points, but I don't think Purdue is either. Ball State plus 6.5 the first quarter, 9.5 the first half, 17.5 for the game. Next game up. Why not? Let's get to it. Mississippi State, Southern Miss. A lot of people asking about this one. 13.5 point favor for Mississippi State, 60.5 total. First thing that rings out to us, I guess, if we had to play in this game, would probably be over 60.5. Mississippi State can put up points in a hurry and bunches of them, especially against bad teams. Against good teams, they struggled all last season to figure out how to score anything. The Rocket Fire offense doesn't do well when it's not getting first down. Southern Miss, no good. We're not playing in this particular game. If we had to, over 60.5 is where we would attack it. I suppose laying 2 touchdowns with Mississippi State's not a bad idea either. The way that week 0 and week 1 so far on Thursday played out, I don't know if you want to take a lot of favorites at the moment in that one, but Mississippi State's the way we'd lean and the over. Next game up, FAU, Maryland, noon Eastern time frame. Maryland at home, favored by 2 touchdowns, total of 61.5. I'll be really honest with you in this one. This line seems about dead frickin' on for this game, especially that 2 touchdown line. I think Maryland wins by 2 touchdowns. No value there, no play. 61.5, we'd probably have to lean a little bit to the under. This game, for some reason, just keeps smelling like 35-21, 28-14. Somewhere in that, nothing but touchdowns, skip the field goals. But Maryland wins by a couple of touchdowns, right on the number. Next game up, one of our favorite plays as well for Saturday at noon Eastern time. They just keep coming. This line keeps going against us, actually. We loved Tulane here at home against Northwestern, noon Eastern. This when it was 6.5. It's down to 4.5. If you didn't play it early, you're getting steals here in this one. Tulane is better offensively, no question about it. They should be able to hold their own on defense. Northwestern has trouble scoring against anybody. Their defense has been good lately, but it's been against a lot of Big Ten teams that can't fling the ball all over the field. Tulane can. Tulane also beat Kansas State last year, folks, if you don't remember that. Like, they've gotten wins against better programs than what's on the front of their jersey. Expect Tulane to get the win here and to cover the points. Tulane, we like in this one. Let's give you all the plays here. It's pretty sizable play for us as well. Tulane -0.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 5.5 for the game. And next game up, let's get to a little VMI and Kent State, noon Eastern time. Kent State laying points against any pass. We won't play that. They're favored by 6.5, 50.5 total. Nothing for us in this particular game. I don't even know if I could give you a lean here, to be really honest. If you're a Kent State or Merrimack fan, I'm sorry. I just don't have anything in this one. I need to see a couple data points from both of these teams in order to get any idea on what they're planning on being this season. Next game up, VMI and Navy. So we loved watching Navy last year, but 41.5 point favorite. Woo! That's a big number for that wishbone to be cranking out. That means the Navy offense is probably going to have to put up 500-plus yards rushing, right? We love playing in Service Academy games because I think the lines are always off here. I think the only way to play it is obviously against Navy with the 41.5 here. I can't lay that many points. That offense can score 42. The question is, are they going to allow any points, right? If they allow 14 points in this game, it's toast. So if you like Navy to win, under the team total for VMI would be, if you like them to cover, I think that's a much easier way to play it without having to give up all those points. Pittsburgh and Duquesne, noon Eastern time frame as well. Pittsburgh favored by 37.5. As we get through, a lot of these games are going to be big numbers the first few weeks as Power 5 programs or Power 4 programs go against the rest of the field. This is one here. I think it's way too many points again for Pittsburgh to get done at 37.5, but it's a stay-away game for us. If you want to play in it, I guess we would lean Pittsburgh in that one. Then we get to the 12:45 Eastern time frame game. Kentucky-Toledo. This will be one of the few games this season where you'll see Kentucky as a favorite. They're currently a 10-point favorite at home going against Toledo in this one. Go figure. They're only going to be favored against a MAC team for the season. I don't like Kentucky as a team this year. I think under 4.5 wins, I believe, is where we got the win total at. 47.5 in this one. Kentucky's defense can hang around, I think, and shut down Toledo for the most part. But Kentucky's offense scares me. And for all you Kentucky fans, I am sorry. I know you want your team to be better. That offense is scary. Sometimes I don't know if they're going to score 10 points, let alone hold 10. Under 47.5 is the only way we'd play it if we were involved. We're not in that one there. Next game up, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Robert Morris, West Virginia. West Virginia, I don't know, 38.5 point favorite. Rich Rod is back for all you Mountaineer fans. We salute you. We'll be playing, I'm sure, a lot of John Denver this Saturday to keep all you Mountaineers fans happy. And, of course, we love that song during football season. West Virginia, do they cover here? We'll say Rich Rod gets this offense all tuned up, and they win by 45. No play for us, but we would lean West Virginia. Next game up, Fordham, Boston College at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Boston College, 37.5 point favorite. Just when you thought it wasn't enough, here comes some more 30 and 40 point lays. Not a lot to love for us in this one either. Boston College, Bill O'Brien, can he get that offense and that program to prominence? I think Bill O'Brien's an excellent offensive coach. Head coach-wise, I'm sure he'll be fine there at BC. They're not expecting to, go to the college football playoff or anything like that. Should be an interesting one. Boston College probably figures out a way to cover barely in that one. Indiana and Old Dominion. Indiana only 23.5 point favorite. Indiana, last year's team was a magical season. They reload through the transfer portal. Quarterback's concern, at least for me. Not really in love with everything that Indiana did. They still are still transfer portal heavy. I think that's okay. I think, to get transfers, don't get me wrong, but you've got to continually build through the freshman class. If you're one of the big programs out there, that's what they continually do, and add the pieces they need through the transfer portal rather than half their team. I guess Indiana, since it's only 23.5, probably gets it done 2:30 Eastern time. Louisville, Eastern Kentucky. Louisville should be one of the better teams in the ACC, but I don't really think that's saying much because once you get past Clemson, I don't know how good the rest of the ACC is. Miami, I don't trust with Carson Beck. Florida State's shouldn't be really anything to talk about too much either. Duke, disappointed on Thursday to say the least. They didn't cover the number at around 5 touchdowns, and they struggled in that game pretty early as well. Don't know if like I said, I love a lot of the ACC, but Louisville might be one of the top 4 teams out there. 38.5 is a buttload. 56.5 total. I say over 56.5 might be your best play if you definitely have to be involved in that game. Then we get to the 3:30 Eastern time frame games. Alabama, Florida State. Man, if this was like 5 to 7 years ago, we'd be drooling over this matchup. Bama, the line's moved. They're up to a 14-point favorite. Like watching Bama football quite a bit, even though Iowa State alum and Iowa State will always come first for us. Do like watching Bama, mainly because when Saban was there. Kellen DeBoer, I think, is a good coach. Here's my issue. Ty Simpson is really your best quarterback option. This is the guy that couldn't start for Notre Dame. This is the guy that when they benched Milroe against South Florida, couldn't score 3 frickin' points. Really? I understand going with experience over a true freshman or a redshirt freshman. Losing Sayin was a big deal for that Alabama program. He was supposed to be the quarterback lead him for the next 3 to 4 years behind Milroe. That didn't happen. Once Saban left, he transferred over to Ohio State. Ohio State gets the benefit of that. I'm worried about Ty Simpson. We're on Bama here, and we did play him at the 13.5. I think there's some value there because Bama's loaded basically everywhere else but quarterback, but it makes me nervous. Bama minus 3.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half, 13.5 for the game. Next game up, as DraftKings does us a huge favor and decides to reboot in the middle of our games here. Thank you so much. They did it to us in our last Thursday, Friday episode, so why not Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to go with it? Always amazes me how they just decide to reboot right at the wrong time for us, but that's part of life. We'll move on. Marshall in Georgia. Georgia, 38.5-point favorite here against Marshall. So let's be honest here. Georgia's the much better team all the way across the board. Concerns at quarterback, yes. I know Georgia fans say they got their quarterback. Okay. I think he's going to look fine here against Marshall. Should be able to fling it. They should be able to run it. I expect Georgia to be extremely run-heavy this season overall. The defense is fabulous. Not as good as it was probably 3 years ago, but good enough. Georgia, nothing for us in this particular game personally, but cover the 38.5. Like that one there. Next game up, Nevada and Penn State, also 3:30 Eastern time frame. Penn State's supposed to be really good. They will beat up the bad teams, but big game James Franklin and big games will figure out a way to choke it off as they always do. Don't know about Drew Allard. I'll be honest with you. When's the last time you saw a Penn State quarterback do really well in the NFL? I don't know, right? So don't really love their offense. They're still weak at receiver. They have 2 great backs. They have an excellent defense. Jim Knowles coming over from Ohio State is a big deal. That defense might not be totally in sync week 1, but halfway through the season, that defense will probably look like the best defense in college football. Would not surprise me at all if they look even better than the Texas defense. Penn State here, 42.5. If you can, take an alt line of 41.5 so they only have to win by 6 touchdowns would lean Penn State. Next game up, 3:30 Eastern time frame, Iowa State, South Dakota. So I'm going to give Iowa State a lot of credit for the Ireland game. I know I'm an alma mater, so I'm going to be a little bit biased, but Kansas State went extremely conservative. Iowa State, even though it was pouring down rain, still tried to advance the ball, throw the ball down the field. It worked for them. They won. They won a monster conference game in Ireland week 0. Now they come back week 1. They're at home. South Dakota coming in, 15.5-point favorite. Iowa State should dominate here in this spot, win by 3 to 4 touchdowns, I would think, at a minimum. No play for us in this one, but do expect Iowa State to get the win and the cover. Next game up, Temple and UMass. This line's moved a little bit. Also 3:30 Eastern time on Saturday. UMass at home plus 1.5, 48.5 total. I don't know if we're going to see a very big scoring game here between UMass and Temple, but I don't know how I get away from UMass plus the points in this particular one as well. So we got them at 2.5. It's down to 1.5. This is a rivalry game. I think it's going to be tight throughout. UMass plus 1.5 first quarter, 1.5 first half, 2.5 for the game is what we like there in UMass and Temple. Next game up, Holy Cross, Northern Illinois, 3:30 Eastern time frame. Northern Illinois favored by 10.5. Holy Cross, who knows? 51.5. We told you in the last show, you're going to see that total a lot for week one because the books need data points in order to kind of figure out where to put the lines at. So 51.5 is a good split between 7 and 8 touchdowns. College football, a lot of games end up pretty close to there. Don't really like much in this game. I guess if we had to play something, it would be the under. Bucknell and Air Force, 3:30 Eastern time frame. Air Force, not as good as we think this number represents, but 30.5 over Bucknell. 56.5 total. Woo! Not many times you're going to see Air Force favored by 30-ish. I think it's a little bit closer than that. We're not playing in this one personally, but I don't know how you don't take 30.5 in your pocket with Bucknell, even if they're the worst team on college football. Air Force, that means they got to score a minimum of 31 to get home. That's a ton for that style of offense. So, like I said, nothing to really love in that one. Would lean towards Bucknell plus the points. Oregon, Montana State, next game up, 4 o'clock Eastern time. We're digging this game here. The Ducks throwing out new quarterback. The Ducks always seem to come in early parts of the season. They always seem to be ahead of everybody else. Now, last year they did start off a little slower with Dylan Gabriel, and then finally came on. Unfortunately, in the college football playoff, they laid a turd against Ohio State. They made one of the dumbest coaching decisions I've seen in single coveraging Jeremiah Smith. You're just asking for trouble. I don't know if they're going to do that again, if they're going to be that stubborn where they think they can cover somebody. Oregon's favored by 26.5, 27.5. We grabbed this thing at 27.5. It's 26.5 in some books now. But Oregon -7 first quarter, 14 first half, 27.5 for the game is the way we're playing in that one. Next game up, Maine and Liberty. Liberty does not have their stud quarterback anymore. He's now in Colorado, 4 o'clock Eastern time frame in this one as well. Liberty, though, favored by 25.5. They were a disappointment last year after the year previously just being so dominant. They couldn't cover anything last year. I mean, it was fade Liberty. After the year before, it was Liberty lay the points, Liberty lay the points. Don't know what to expect. New quarterback here, to be really honest. 25.5 seems like a lot for a team with a new quarterback, but when's the last time you heard of Maine football being good? Stay away game from us. If we had to play in it, I guess over 52.5 in that one there. Next game up, let's get to the 4:15 Eastern time frame game. That would be Alabama A&M, Arkansas. Who's not excited for that one, right? Who's not excited for that? Arkansas, 46.5 point favorite. Oh, my God. Well, the 50-point favorites, please stop, right? That's the problem with college football is until we get to conference play, we see all these ridiculous point spreads. It's hard to play somebody minus 40-something. Week one, you might catch a lot of dogs as teams are trying to ease in a little bit to what they're trying to do offensively and defensively. Too many points for us in this one. I guess take the 46.5 with Alabama and A&M, hope and pray they can score a touchdown. Next game up, 4:30 Eastern time frame, Memphis, Chattanooga. Memphis, everybody, the betting darlings favorite because why? They tend to score a lot of points. That is good for the public bettors out there. Who doesn't want to see somebody score a lot of points? I do. It's more fun. Now, there's something to be said for one of those 10-7 games where the defenses are really good. But most of the time when you see those 10-7 games, it's just the offenses are piss poor and can't execute. Memphis' offense normally can't execute. No play for us in this particular game here, but Would lay it the 27.5 with Memphis. Next game up, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Woo! We're jamming now. Illinois State, Oklahoma. I'm sorry, we missed one. I apologize. Let's go back here just a second. Virginia, Coastal Carolina. Virginia, 11.5-point favorite. It seems like a low line here going against Coastal Carolina, but Coastal Carolina, they seem to just stay around in ball games, especially against teams that are in programs that are better than they are. Now, against teams they're supposed to crush, they've had some issues in the past, but they should be able to hang around here for a little bit. Might like them to cover the first half, but I think eventually Virginia is going to get this game, have a decent chance to cover. No play for us in that one, but would lean towards Virginia. Oklahoma, Illinois State. Oklahoma favored by 35.5. Oklahoma's defense should be really good. Team total under, if you can get it here for Illinois State, I think should be the play. 61.5 makes me nervous unless Oklahoma's going to get 60 of it. Their defense was solid last year. I expect their defense to be solid again under Venables. The question is, can the offense move the ball consistently enough and put up enough points, especially in the SEC? That's going to be the question all season long. I think they got a chance to cover this one. Illinois State under team total. Oklahoma, take the line from 35.5 to 34.5 and get yourself something there. Next game up, 6 o'clock Eastern time as well. Albany of New York, Iowa City. They're trying to get an easy win in Iowa. Since we have Iowa over total wins, definitely need Iowa to pull this one through. What's been the question for Iowa over the last, 5 to 8 years? Can they score? The defense has been tremendous. Kirk Ferentz has always had a great defense, always seems to have a good offensive line, always seems to have a good running back. The question is, can the quarterback spin the ball whatsoever? Should be better this year for them. You know what? Iowa week 1 against the team they should beat up on. Iowa minus the 37.5. Next game up, 6 o'clock Eastern time as well. We are in this game. James Madison, Weber State. James Madison, by the way, one of our favorite teams to play over the last several years. Just moving up in division as well. What's there not to like about James Madison? They make it interesting. They go for twos probably more than anybody else. They're a fun team to watch. They're only, 25.5, 26.5 point favorite here. We like James Madison. We're all over them. Minus 6.5 first quarter, 13 the first half, 25.5 for the game in that one there. Next game up, UTSA, Texas A&M. 7 o'clock Eastern time frame. Texas A&M 23.5 point favorite against UTSA. If this was a few years ago when UTSA was putting up like 70 points against everybody, I'd have loved to seen this matchup. But it's not. A&M is better than UTSA. They should beat up on UTSA. UTSA can't score as much as they used to. They're going to have trouble scoring against the A&M defense as well. No play for us in this one personally, but we would lay it with A&M laying the 23.5. Next game up, Kansas State, the biggest dud in week 0, 7 o'clock Eastern time, hosting North Carolina. Maybe they get outside the rain and can actually try to attempt to throw a pass. That would be something new. Avery Johnson is a good quarterback, I believe. Is he an NFL top 5 pick? No. Is he a guy he can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he can do a lot of things with it? Yes. They just went way too conservative in Ireland with the turnovers and everything going on. Klein went to what Klein does, which is shell up, and hopefully they figure out a way to win the game late. That's not going to be the case in this one here. K-State covers the 25.5 and gets that win. Next game up, 7 o'clock Eastern time frame, Southeast Missouri State. SEMO, Arkansas State. Arkansas State favored by 10.5. The line sounds right. I thought Arkansas State win by 10. There's not any value left at the line at 10.5. 59.5 total. Might have a chance for an over there as well. So would lean to the over 59.5 in that one. LIU in Florida at 7 o'clock Eastern time. DJ's supposed to play, we hope. If that's the case, Florida's always got a good chance to win. The kid is ridiculous, their quarterback. He had a really good freshman season last year. Like what he can possibly do. He did have some injury concerns during I guess they don't call it training camp, but preseason for Florida. They're a monster favorite here. Billy Napier needs every win he can get. It's 45.5. I believe they run up the score if they get the opportunity to, but they are going to be conservative with their young quarterback. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. Makes me a little nervous on the 45.5 that he might not play long enough in order for them to get home. Stay away game from us. I guess Florida minus the 45.5, but not in love with it. Next game up, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Austin Peay, Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee favored by 9.5. They were back and forth last year a little bit for us. We liked what they did in some games, hated what they did in some others. Can't really play them as a 9.5-point favorite, though. I just don't see any value in that whatsoever, knowing how back and forth they can be. I guess play the Austin Peay plus the 9.5 or under 53.5 in that one. Next game up, 7 o'clock Eastern time frame as well. North Alabama, Western Kentucky. Man, do the key games just keep going. The Hilltoppers were big for us last week, our favorite bet in week 0. Guess what? They covered even after the start of that second half where they were up 20-10, and you looked up 5 minutes later, they're down 24-20. They still come back in order to figure out how to cover that 9.5, win by 17 in that one for us. They were fine for us last week. We'd play them again, but we're not in this particular game here. They're laying 27.5 against North Alabama. I think they win by 5 touchdowns in this one. Troy, Nicholls State, also 7 o'clock Eastern time. Troy, 20.5-point favorite here. Troy is definitely the better team. No question about that. I think going into the season, power rankings-wise, they should be able to cover this thing, but barely probably win by 24. No play for us in that one, though. Morgan State, South Alabama, also 7 o'clock Eastern time. South Alabama is pretty fun to watch. 28.5-point favorite, total at 51.5, over and over. Nothing for us personally in that game, but that's how we would attack that one. And 7 o'clock Eastern time, Vanderbilt, Charleston, Southern. All right, so Vanderbilt was very good to us last year against the number. No question about that. Are they going to be able to do the same thing this year? I don't know. They barely made a bowl. It wasn't like they went 10-2, but they were great against the number, as Army was and some other teams. But at 38.5 is a buttload of points. Under 49.5, maybe in that one. All right, 7:30 Eastern time frame. So there's 2 games I was looking forward to on Saturday. This is the second one. LSU, Clemson, Garrett Nussmeier, Clay Klubnik. Clemson's defense is better than LSU's, we think. The offenses, we think LSU is more prolific in the pass game. We think Clemson should be able to run the ball a little bit better than they can. There's a lot to really like this game. I think we're going to see an old-fashioned shootout, to be really honest here. Total is at 57.5. It's been pretty steady for the week. It did bump a little bit and then got bet back down. We love the over here. We're not going to pick a side. We're just going to enjoy some high-scoring offensive football. Clemson, LSU over 13 the first quarter, 27.5 first half, 57.5 for the game. Next game up. New Mexico and Michigan, Bryce Underwood debut. 7:30 Eastern time frame game. Man, do we just want to see Bryce Underwood just be dominant? Offensive line is supposed to be as good as it was a few years ago. Defense was supposed to be able to reload here, even though they lost some pieces. Bryce Underwood, the #1 overall recruit. And that's basically by every publication out there. He's the starter. They got 2 5-star backs. Michigan's loaded. Question is, I think the only position I think you have to worry about mainly at all is wide receiver for them. 34.5-point favorite. They shouldn't need to throw too many passes to cover that against New Mexico. Michigan laying the wood here. 34.5. 49.5, I think, is in trouble because Michigan might put up a 50 spot here in this one. Next game up. UTEP, Utah State, 7:30 Eastern time frame. Can you believe there's more games? I know, it's just craziness. Utah State favored by 6 over UTEP. Like the Utah State team in this one. They put up a lot of points last year. Hopefully we're going to see a similar type offense. Utah State to cover the 6. USC, Missouri State. All right, I'm going to say this about USC. I think Lane Kiffin is one of the most brilliant offensive minds out there. Is he the best head coach? No. Would probably be the best offensive coordinator, though, anywhere. He can really coach. He can recruit. He can't seem to keep guys, but initially recruit freshmen he's fantastic at. Offensively, they're going to be fine. Defense is supposed to be better than what we've seen in the last few years out of USC. The good news is I don't think it could be much worse. They're favored by 35.5. No play for us, but USC, take it to 34.5. Make it easier on yourself. Let's rock and roll with USC in that one. Next game up, we've got, as we continue to go through the schedule here, just making sure we're not missing nothing, as most of it's got posted now. We've got Louisiana Tech and Southeastern Louisiana. Not much to say about this one except pass. Next game up, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Tech. If Texas Tech is supposed to be one of the best teams in the Big 12 and have a chance to win this conference, this is step number one towards that. They are a 52.5-point favorite, folks. Total at 62.5. Crazy number all the way around. I know Texas Tech, we've seen them put up 70-plus points before. They weren't as prolific last year. 52.5, though. I mean, even against a community college, that's a lot of points. I think Texas Tech's going to win by 40. I just don't know about 52.5. We're not playing it. If we had to, we'd probably take the 52.5 and take our chances. Georgia State, Ole Miss at 7:45. Ole Miss, no Jackson Dart. What does Lane Kiffin have in store for us this year? I don't know. They normally beat up on the bad teams and struggle against the good teams. That's normally what Ole Miss does. Their record looks outstanding until they play what? Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, right? I don't think they're in that tier with Alabama, Texas, Georgia at all in the SEC. I don't. I think they're below that. I don't think they're with LSU either. Until I see the quarterback play, I'm going to hold off a little bit of stuff here. But 34.5. Normally, Lane Kiffin's teams figure out how to do that, even if he's got to go in and play quarterback himself. Next game up, we've got 8 o'clock Eastern time frame. Eastern Michigan, Texas State. Texas State favored by 13.5. If you like a little bit of offensive football, Texas State might be your team to watch. They can put up some points. They have in years past. 13.5-point favorite. No play for us, but we would lean Texas State. 8 o'clock Eastern time, Rice in Louisiana. Louisiana favored by 11.5. No play for us there. Stay away game. Next one up, Lamar and North Texas. North Texas, another one of those teams that can put up a boatload of points, and they give them up. They're favored by 24.5, 63.5 total. No play for us in this one either, but North Texas over that 63.5 does look awful tempting. Tulsa and Abilene Christian, 8 o'clock Eastern. We haven't seen a line this tight since earlier in the morning, right? So 5.5 points there. I've got to lean Tulsa, but not anything we're in love with or anything we would touch. 8 o'clock Eastern time frame. BYU, Portland State. We are in this one. We think BYU's offense is going to be pretty fabulous. That's kind of what we're thinking. So that's why we're with BYU, even though it's a 43.5 number. BYU -7 in the first quarter, 22.5 first half, 43.5 for the game. Next game up, Bryant, New Mexico State, 9 o'clock Eastern time frame. We're starting to get those later games. New Mexico State favored by 19.5. They should be pretty solid, I would think. Win by 3 touchdowns, barely scathed by here is pretty good possibility for New Mexico State. Would lay it with them. No play for us, though. SMU and East Texas A&M. I know a lot of people love SMU, this game at 9 o'clock Eastern as well on Saturday. But 50.5, this is like that Texas Tech line at 52.5, total at 63.5. I guess if you like SMU, the easier play might be East Texas A&M under their team total, and SMU comes out and plays well. I think they got kind of shown up last year, not being able to beat Clemson on a year that they had the horses to actually win the ACC. I think it was an absolute disappointment. Them making the playoff was even worse. Just because it's 50.5, I guess. East Texas A&M, if you have to make a play under their team total in that one. Georgia Southern and Fresno State, 9:30 Eastern time frame. 1.5 point line here. Georgia Southern actually favored on the road, 50.5 total. Don't really like much about this game. Under 50.5 might be the play, though. Arizona State and Northern Arizona, 10 o'clock Eastern time frame. So we are excited out here in Phoenix land. We get to watch Sam Leavitt, second-year quarterback for Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham, man, what was last year was amazing. Cam Scatterby was a big reason he's now playing for the Giants. Like Arizona State in this one, the line has bumped up to 28.5. We did grab this thing at 27.5. I'd recommend doing the same. It's not going to cost you much in juice. ASU minus 6.5 first quarter, 13.5 first half, 27.5 for the game. Next game up, we get to Idaho and Washington State. We've got Washington State favored by basically 2 touchdowns, 13.5, 50.5 total. Nothing we really love here. I guess we had to play something. Pullman's not an easy place to play. 13.5, we'd lay it with Washington State. 10:30 Eastern time frame, Hawaii and Arizona. I will say this. I don't think Arizona is going to be good at all. So for them to be 17.5 point favorites, I'm a little bit confused. I know Hawaii typically sucks on the road and is good at home. Hawaii played Stanford pretty tough and got a win. Last second field goal there. We'll take Hawaii plus the points. We're not playing it personally, but Arizona, to me, does not have horses to compete really. So we take Hawaii plus the points. California and Oregon State, former Pac-12 foes, now ACC Pac-2 or whatever you want to call them. 10:30 Eastern time. Nothing we really love here. It's almost a 1.5 point favorite here for Oregon State. I guess maybe lean that way for the home team, but nothing to love there. 11 o'clock Eastern time. We are in this game, though. Utah, UCLA. So Nico coming over from Tennessee to UCLA. He's kind of new. Utah, I will tell you this. Utah, there's one thing you can count on every year from Utah. That's they're going to have a great defense. They're going to play close to the best. They're going to run the ball. They're not going to turn it over a bunch. Total's at 51.5. How much of this under can we get? Because we love the under in this one. UCLA, Utah under 10.5 first quarter, 25.5 first half, 51.5 for the game in that one. So UCLA, Utah under. Colorado State, Washington at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Last game on the board for Saturday night. Washington, 21.5 point favorite, 53.5 total. For all you Washington alums, you should get a win here. The question is, are you going to be able to cover more than 3 touchdowns? That could be a little bit of a struggle. I'd figure out a way to get it below 21 if I'm leaning on Washington. Then we get to Sunday. We've got a few games Sunday. It's always exciting, right? So Virginia Tech, South Carolina. We love this matchup. 3 o'clock Eastern time frame on Sunday the 31st. South Carolina, the lines went down from 8 to 7.5 against Virginia Tech. If you don't know who Mr. Sellers is, the quarterback for South Carolina, grab a seat, watch him play. The kid's a stud. He's physically a monster back there. I mean, specimen-wise, he looks like a freaking linebacker who can throw and run. It's ridiculous. South Carolina, I don't think is getting enough love here. To be really honest, we love South Carolina in this spot. It's up there. It's definitely in the top 4 plays of the weekend. South Carolina, in total, by the way, is 52.5 in this one. South Carolina minus 2.5 first quarter, 4.5 first half, and 7.5 for the game. Next game up, also Sunday the 31st, 7:30 Eastern time, Notre Dame, Florida, down at Coral Gables. This line on the total keeps moving down and down and down. Notre Dame starting a new quarterback, Carson Beck, going in for Miami, taking over for Cam Ward. Notre Dame favored by 2.5 on the road. I don't know about you guys, but every time I watch a Marcus Freeman team earlier in the season, if they score 13 points, I become extremely excited. They just can't, putting it together. They seem like they're a little slower out of the gate than most. The 2 toughest games they have all season are week 1 and week 3. They got week 1 here with Miami, week 3 with Texas A&M. I'll be honest with you here. This is all under for us. We got it at 50.5. It's down to 49.5. I expect it to go down even more, to be really honest. Under here for Notre Dame, Miami, under 10.5 first quarter, 25.5 first half, and 50.5 for the game. Then we finish up on Labor Day, 8 o'clock Eastern time frame. Bill Belichick in his coaching debut for North Carolina Tar Heels at home, getting 3.5 at home. Gio Lopez is getting the start. TCU, remember when they went against the coach 2 years ago? They were favored, and somehow Dion pulled that upset. Does this smell the same? I think it kind of does here. North Carolina, we didn't play in it. We're still thinking about it. Plus 3.5, though, is awful damn tempting there for the Tar Heels and Belichick possibly to get his first win, maybe a little North Carolina money line action as well. So that is the laundry list of games for college football week 1, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There is a boatload of them. There is nonstop action on Saturday from morning, noon, and night. Sunday, you got a couple games. Monday, you get the one game. Should be a great college football week 1. If you haven't followed us before, all of our shows on YouTube brought to you by Outlier, the world's #1 sports betting app. Let's give you some of the advantages of Outlier. Not only going to tell you where the money's coming in on the books or all the sports books, not only going to give you great bet ideas, it's going to odd shop for you on those bets as well. And you're going to be able to store all of your bets from multiple books. You can sync it all through Outlier. 7-day free trial in the YouTube channel section or channel page. You'll find the link there. And at the end of every episode on YouTube, you'll find it there as well in the comments section. Like I said, get it 6-7 days for free. And if you don't like it, just cancel it. Right? They're giving you 7 days to check it out. Actually spend the time and check it out. I will tell you, they've got trends. They got all kinds of different stuff. There's so much information on there. You can't even consume it all. But if you like doing the research yourself, and there's guys out there that they want to figure it out for themselves, I'm with you, right? But use a tool like Outlier, 7-day free trial by just clicking the link and signing up there. Private Discord channel available for all of you out there as well. It is $50 per month. We give you all the bets early. We do all the research for you. You just got to sit back and pick the games we do, and at the end of the season, be profitable. You know, sometimes on a certain day or game, we miss, right? We're not perfect. If we were perfect, you would think I would actually share this on a show. I would just sit back, collect my money. I wouldn't need to worry about doing all this and putting all the extra time and effort in for everybody else. But been profitable multiple seasons in every sport for years. Like I said, there's going to be losing days, losing weeks. That's okay. The key is to be up at the end of the year. That's where we come in. Not only that, you're going to get all those bets. You're going to get bonus bets as well. WNBA, Formula One, golf, UFC. We don't put out for public consumption. You're going to get all the bets early so you can get ahead of line moves, juice moves. And especially in football, you'll definitely notice it on the lines, especially college football. The lines move a little bit more on the point spreads. And also player props in the NFL move tons. So by getting those early, that's going to help you out a bunch as well to be more profitable. Not only that, you got 200 plus members on there that are also going to be shooting around their ideas as well, or giving you ideas on this, that, or the other. You're also going to get the shows that we put out. Those also go, we put out a share on the show. Before it goes out for public, we put it out for you to be able to watch first. Fantastic stuff, folks. Join the Discord. Well worth it. Try it out for a month. You're down $50 if you hate it, right? I don't hear that very often. And when we do hear it, it's because they're doing something like parlaying 50 damn plays together, which you shouldn't parlay anyway. It is a little bit of a grind if you're going to make money at this. No question about it. Not everybody starts off with $1 million bankroll. It gets built up over time. But the Discord's an excellent place to have some fun with a lot of sports wagering-minded people like yourself and get a lot of help along the way. So you will find that link in our comment section of every show we do here on YouTube, as well as our YouTube channel page. Check it out. Discord channel, fun place to be. Also, make sure you give a lot of love for all the creators out there. Likes, shares, comments, all that kind of great stuff. It's always appreciative. Show a little love for the creator. It's not going to hurt you. It doesn't hurt your thumb to push the button. or share it with one friend. If everybody that watches it shares it with one friend, it's a successful show at the end of the day. I promise you, you know somebody else you talk sports with. Share them, let them watch the show, see what they think. If they like it, they continue to watch. If they don't like it, okay. What'd they waste? 5-10 minutes before they said they didn't like it, even though this show is going to be closer to an hour? Okay. Anyway, like I said, whether it's my show or anybody else's on any social media platform, show a little bit of love. It's definitely appreciated on our side. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.